Hi, I'm here with Madcow Trini, as he's affectionately known, real name Jagdeo Sicharan. We're down at Wallerfield, where they're doing some testing for drags. It's been raining earlier. Madcow, you haven't raced us yet?
No, I am now lining up to make the first pass for the day.
Okay. Well, I come down to your garage a lot. I see you constantly doing work on your car. What is the most parts that you have to change, or what is the most improvements that you have to do constantly to your car?
Improvements is boost, more power. But we regularly change tires.
Right.
Every 2 events, new set of tires.
Right. Okay. Now, as I say, we're down at Wallerfield. This facility's been open since about, let's move away, let these people go through. This facility's been here since about 2014, approximately 3 years. Since it's open, what improvements have you seen to the track, like safety-wise or infrastructure-wise?
Well, first I must say thank you so much for the management who had made it possible for us to have this place open, so that we can have a home or a place that we can race. There's a lot of improvements since the last incident that took place in Wallerfield, and I have seen tremendous improvement. But there's 2 things I would like to touch on there. The people who come to look at us, I would like to see a proper shelter for them, and I would also like to see a proper cleanup crew. The cleanup crew here should, in case, God forbid, a man break his axle or break his gearbox, it takes too long for them to come back on, to clean the track for racing to come back on.
Right, okay. So regarding the infrastructure, from what I understand, they cannot build a permanent structure here because there's a problem with the lease. That's from what I understand. So would it be to continue racing at Wallerfield, or probably look for another lot of land for private investment to race on?
It would be nice to have a private or another place to race, but I firmly believe that the government or the powers that be to give TTASA, which is the governing body for motorsport, not only a lease but a permanent home for motorsport. And I think that they should hand that deed over back to TTASA or to us, the racers, so that we can have a permanent home for motorsport.
And invest accordingly in the necessities for a track of this standard?
Well, yes, I believe if we have the deed for this property here, there will be a lot of investors coming on board.
Okay.
And once they're investors, we could have a permanent home, a permanent shed, like for instance, the shed down the road there. I think that the government should give us that to use it for our pit, so that our cars could put under that, a shelter.
So you've got shelter, you've got electricity as well. Those are some of the basic things you're looking for. And as you say, like a shelter for some of the spectators who come down, because right now they're exposed to the elements.
Yes, I would like to see that. Presently is a weekend to weekend basis. We have temporarily tents that have been put up, and it take down after the events. So I want to have a permanent place so that we could come and park properly here.
So you see the future of racing at Wallerfield?
Well, I love Wallerfield, and Wallerfield have all the facilities to facilitate all the other motorsport facilities, all the other motorsport organizations. I think...
But comparing Wallerfield to the other Caribbean islands?
Oh, Wallerfield is amazing. It's wonderful. It's a nice place. It's a nice home. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Madcow. I'll let you get on with your racing. Hi there, I'm here with Nizam Mohammed from TTASA. What exactly do you do in TTASA?
I'm the competition chairman for TTASA.
Right, so you organize this event?
Yes. Basically what we try to do is to encourage people to come to Wallerfield. So this event is a practice actually, and we want patrons to come here and see what Wallerfield is like for drag racing, and it is free. The admission is free.
What are the requirements for the cars to enter?
Oh, it varies from 13 seconds straight down to 7-second cars, you know.
So for a beginner wanting to come here, what would he need to have? Like helmet, roll cage?
a beginner, I will recommend that he use a 13-second car. Roll cage is not mandatory, but of course the helmet must be certified, and a race suit, gloves, fire extinguisher. Of course, we do scrutiny on the car itself to ensure that the car is safe with a fire extinguisher in it.
So roll cage isn't mandatory?
It is mandatory from 12 seconds and under.
All right, so you could see the KVTV box lancer down here, possibly one day.
Yeah, I hope so.
Great. So we've been here, we've had this facility in Trinidad and Tobago reopened since about middle of 2014, approximately nearly 3 years. Improvements to the track safety-wise, i.e. like to the track, fencing, signs and infrastructure. What has actually been done since the track opened?
Well, as you can see, I don't know if the camera could scan, but we have improved the runoff areas, especially for circuit, the bottom corner. And for drag racing, both sides of the track are reinforced with tires and concrete barriers.
Okay. What improvements would you now like to see done here?
We would really like to see the pit area for the drag racing be relocated so that it could be a little more convenient for the drag racers and the patrons. Presently, we use part of the circuit track for the pit area, but that is not really convenient for the dragsters.
Right.
What we're trying to do is to take racing off the street. And we more or less have achieved that since Wallerfield has been opened for motorsport. We have all the affiliated clubs, karting, drifting, super street cars, drag racing, and circuit. If you notice, you don't hear reports of drag racing on the streets in San Fernando or Valsane and these places.
Like how it used to be when Wallerfield was closed?
That's right. So we have achieved that, and the intention now is really to encourage people to come and race here. The motor racing is really an industry. There's a lot of downstream things that can happen. People, create jobs, open businesses, paint shops, muffler shops, tire shops, things like that. So it is an industry that creates employment as well. And the ASN, which is TTASA, our main objective is to assist our government to make roads safe. And this is why we are trying to get all the affiliated clubs to come to Wallerfield and use the facility, which is a controlled environment.
Okay, so regarding permanent infrastructure, like the pit area, as you was talking about, what you'd like to see, like shelter for the cars, and I presume electricity there, shelter for the patrons as well. Do you envisage that happening at Wallerfield?
Yes, it can happen.
Is the lease for here secured?
We have a lease on a year-to-year basis. Recently we have applied to get a lease for at least 5 years so that we can get sponsors, and once sponsors realize that they can get mileage for a period of more than 3 years, for example, they will invest.
But for a 5-year lease, to invest on actual bricks and mortar over 5 years, you'd more do that like on a 30-year lease up, really, than a 5-year lease to invest in bricks and mortar?
No, I don't think so.
So you do actually see some investment like structurally here, infrastructure-wise?
Yes, I think so. Once we get the permission from ETEC, we would put in the infrastructure that is necessary for motorsport, which is guided really by the FIA people. which is the governing body for motorsport in the world.
Okay. So the affiliated clubs for, say, like rally, drift, for rally, I understand that's TTRC, for drift, TTDA. What is the affiliated club for drags?
To be an affiliated club and be recognized, you need to have a registered club. It must be registered. You must show your administrative structure, which means that you need to have a president, a vice president, a treasurer, a secretary, and all that. And as far as we know, there's no drag racing affiliated club with that kind of structure, and therefore we cannot sanction an event for any fly-by-night club.
Right. So are there any clubs in the offering coming up that you think might be able to take that mantle?
In Trinidad, you have about 20 or 30 clubs made up of car models like 4x4 and B13s and Laurel.
But specifically for drags?
But for drags, no. Not in the near future.
So TTASA has the reins and controls. It's a TTASA event.
Yeah. Well, basically, we are running a competition. We had one event for this year. We're supposed to have about 7, inclusive of a regional event where we want to bring cars out of Suriname, Guyana, St. Lucia, Grenada, and Antigua. So we want to create a CDRC, which is Caribbean Drag Racing Championship, just as how we have CMRC in the Caribbean for circuit. And we really want to win that because we won the 2016 CMRC Trophy Championship for the last circuit event.
So when do you see this new drag racing competition coming in?
Well, as I said, we started already, and the next event is on 25th of March.
Here?
Right here, and it will be a night event.
So the first event was where, sorry?
Right here, right at Wallerfield, in January, sometime in January, we had the first event. We tried to...
but you also want to take it internationally?
Well, we want to have a regional event, not internationally.
Regional.
Yeah, regionally. And we want to also travel to Guyana. They have already invited us for the 6th of August, so we want to send a team down there.
Fantastic. Thank you very much for your time, Nizam.
You're welcome.
I'm here with Flambo. Flambo, you're down at Wallerfield. You relaxing or you racing?
I'm just relaxing today. Today is just a relaxed day for me because I'm trying to prep the car. I'm trying to prep the car to get it ready for at least the next international we're supposed to have in Trinidad. But most likely we're supposed to be at least in 7 seconds for the next run.
Right, I see. So I've been asking a few people. This facility has been open since about 2014. What improvements would you like to see here for the racers, for the spectators?
Well, actually, right now, we at least if we could take at least a little more concrete barriers and things, to get a little more safe. But I think the committee right now is trying to see if they could work on that. And if they could get that done, at least which part we stand here right now, which would be 100% better. For at least the drivers, and then when they came out, they could be able to take a look, because the spectators is very safe right now. You understand? But the most thing we could look for is to try to protect safety for the time being.
Yeah, because I understand, even since the accident at the CMRC last year, there's been another accident here where someone, believe drags crashed into something and caught a flame and was burnt. Yeah,
which is a very good friend of mine, and he's safe. Everything is all right, more or less, with him.
Do you know what the incident there? I only just heard about it today.
Yeah, the incident 100% I have to say is more or less is the car fault, which is the driver or the mechanic fault. So we can't blame, and we had to thank God that it wasn't
fatal.
It wasn't no part to interfere with the spectators. You understand? The car actually burned more or less on the top, on the finish. Which he hold the car safe and he stopped and everything. But he had a little fire trying to get out of the car. But more or less, I think what I feel is safe, and to the people who are wrong, once they listen, because I'm a very old guy in this business, if they listen and they play with it, we should be able to get it for at least 2018, anyway around there.
Were there any, for that incident, were you there? Was there any fire brigade there for that incident?
Yes, the fire brigade was there. You know, they respond at the time, but you know, certain things onto the track, we can't have the fire brigade at every point. So that is one of the major things, because from the line, they might be halfway up, which is really bad. Sometimes the fire take place in the bottom, or a car take
They're
off.
not going to know where.
Correctly. So you don't know the actual point where they will be. But as everything else, all we could do is hope and pray that everything happen in a safe manner and nobody get injured.
Who are you really looking forward to racing this year?
Well, me and Sheldon, besides them, have a little ravel-tavel thing coming up that should take place for the next drag. Yeah, but I should be back here. I now convinced a guy to drive my car, which is the Alta, the thing, and having the new car coming out into the next run.
What's new rails?
I think so. You question them at that point, but they will see it. I want the fans of them to come for the next night drag. It's supposed to be sometime in April. My new car will be here, and the old car will be here. So I will drive in the two, which I'll still give Dale Myers a little drive in it, and see if we could beat the time.